as a consumer, I feel really bad for you because there is so much misinformation. It's like trying to go on a diet. Oh my God, eat protein, don't eat too much protein, don't drink protein powder, drink protein powder, walk, don't walk, do lifting, don't lift. OMG. Like, it is so overwhelming. And that is the downside of social media, technology, YouTube, is that you can find anything to justify what you want. But we have to remember the basis of what we're doing here, which is liquidity, control, guarantees, uninterrupted compound interest. Hello, and welcome to the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. If you are back, welcome back. If you are a newbie, welcome to the craziness. Okay, today we are going to talk about infinite banking practitioners, people that understand IBC versus people that don't. And so I got a couple of emails, 2 in the same day, which is very, very odd for me. But 2 people in the same day that said, hey, Mary Jo, I found you on YouTube. I was watching these other people that are talking about infinite banking. And then, YouTube does their thing. And they say, hey, if you like this video, you're going to like these videos. And interestingly enough, the videos that they were originally watching were not from IBC practitioners. And the person that they were watching was talking about supposedly infinite banking, but was not an infinite banking practitioner. And then they went down the line and they were like, oh, hey, I watched this person and that person just didn't look as honest. I really like your no BS approach, yada, yada, yada. Here's the thing. I am going to toot my own horn just a hair to give you the experience or to let you know what my experience is. Okay. Not trying to brag, just letting you know what my experience is. And what I am seeing based on people using other agents. Because last week it happened again, and it happens constantly, but it happened again last week that, oh, I read your book 4 years ago. I took that book to my local agent who is also my friend or family member or whatever, the situation is. And I now understand that I got an indexed universal life policy. I did not get a whole life policy. And so in the book, if you guys actually read the book, like if you actually read either one of my books, you are going to hear me say, do not go to your local agent. They are not going to understand what's going on. And if you do, these are the questions that you should ask them. What is happening is you guys are going to other people, and these other people are saying, oh yeah, I understand that. I can do what Mary Jo does. I mean, I had one client call me a couple of weeks ago and say, hey, this other agent from a company that starts with an N, they are trying to get me to buy their whole life product. And I said, well, I know for a fact that that company does not have a paid up additions rider that they can put on the policy. So they can't even structure it the way I do. So I said, they probably sold you a paid up at 65 or a 10 pay, right? And he's like, oh yeah, it's a paid up at 65. And I said, and I also know that this particular company does not like you to take loans against your policy and use your cash value. And he said, oh, that's funny that you say that, because I asked the agent about taking loans and the agent said, oh yeah, we would prefer you go to a third party. Why would you want to borrow against your cash value? People, seriously? And then I said, yeah, this guy's probably trying to get you to cancel your whole life policy to exchange it or to move the money over to a new whole life policy with him. It's called a 1035 exchange. And he's like, yeah, he is. And I said, and you're going to lose a bunch of money doing that. Of course, the agent said, no, you're not. And that is complete BS. Yes, you are. If you 1035 a policy, I don't care if it's a universal policy to whole life. I don't care if it's whole life to whole life. You lose death benefit. You lose some cash value when you do that. It is not an even for even exchange. Hello. And so, of course, he didn't get told that. And I said, well, why would he do that? Like, your whole life policy is great. Their company is a good company. I don't like the salesmen of 99% of the salesmen that come out of that company, but it's a good company. And I said, I would never recommend you do that. And this client said, yeah, you didn't do that to me. And I looked and I forgot he had whole life with a different company when we met. And I said, oh, that's a great policy. It's a mutual company. They're fantastic. We can just start another policy for you, but use the one that you have. We're not going to move it. So all that to be said, that clearly when these people are coming in, I already know their game. It's there. They all play the same damn game, trying to say, hey, I can do what Mary Jo does, but I don't know crap about what Mary Jo does. And so you really have to decide. Do you want somebody that's going to be ethical and honest? This is your money. Or do you want somebody that is going to say, yes, I know, but I am not authorized? Or I am an authorized practitioner, but I never go to any events that are held. And this is going to piss off a lot of authorized practitioners that are out there. But I am extremely active within the infinite banking community. And so I sit on the council for the Nelson Nash Institute. I am at every think tank. I think I've missed one in 15 years. I also do Coaching Academy, which is what the Nelson Nash Institute does for their agents. We help coach them and teach them about IBC and help them with their business and that kind of stuff. And so there are so many people that I see that are halfway in or halfway out. Like I do this every single day, all day long, and it is the only thing I do. I have sold no annuities. I don't think I've ever sold an annuity. I could sell annuities. I could sell long-term care. I could sell disability insurance. I could do all the grand things. And I don't, because this one thing I am super, super good at. And it is insane to keep learning about whole life and universal and variable and the world of just life insurance so that I am educated enough to make sure that I am serving you as a client. And it is crazy to me how some people do not see the value of that. So I'm going to make some people mad out there in the world, but I don't frankly care if I am seeing somebody that is not 100% committed. How are we going to help someone? If you are not an IBC practitioner, if you are going to an agent that is not an IBC practitioner agent, that does not understand infinite banking, that does not make life insurance their entire life, how are you certain that you are getting the answers that you should get? It is crazy to me when I have people that are like, hey, Mary Jo, then they have a question, right? And we've been in the industry for 15 years, but you don't know the answer to that. Why? Why don't you know? If you don't know, if you are an agent out there or your agent is calling an indexed universal life or a variable universal life or any kind of universal life product, whole life, that is like the biggest red alarm. And if you are listening to somebody on the YouTubes and they are saying all this shit to make everything look sexy, and you can make this great rate of return, and you can borrow money without paying interest, they are liars. It is plain and simple to me. Like I have no ands, ifs, or buts about any of this. Because if I am an agent and I am saying whole life and I sell you an IUL, that is not whole life. That is permanent insurance, but it is not whole life. So as a consumer, and I say this a lot to you guys, as a consumer, I feel really bad for you because there is so much misinformation. It's like trying to go on a diet. Oh my God, eat protein, don't eat too much protein, don't drink protein powder, drink protein powder, walk, don't walk, do lifting, don't lift. OMG. Like it is so overwhelming. And that is the downside of social media, technology, YouTube, is that you can find anything to justify what you want. But we have to remember the basis of what we're doing here, which is liquidity, control, guarantees, uninterrupted compound interest. That's the basis of everything that we're doing. It is not chasing a rate of return. It is not a UL product that has a term insurance chassis. It is about liquidity, control, guarantees, uninterrupted compound interest. And those things cannot be found outside of whole life. If we want to create cash flow in our life, we need to borrow from our cash value. We need that policy to be structured correctly. We need an agent that is going to understand what we are trying to do with the policy. I have talked to over 2,000, I think I'm at about 2,300 people one-on-one in 15 years. That's just me. That's not my colleague John that works with me. That's just me. 2,300 people. That is not people off of Zoom meetings that I'm talking to at conferences. That's thousands, right? This is just me looking at people's financials and saying, this is how you can use the infinite banking concept. If you choose not to do business with me, that is 100% fine with me. I don't care. There are some people that are maybe not ready. There are some people that are not enough fit to work with me. But I am always going to be honest and truthful about what you have going on. If you are not managing your money well, we are going to talk about that. If you make $200,000 or $300,000 a year and you have nothing in savings and you're putting 3% in your 401k, I would like to know where all that money is going. We're going to have that conversation. I'm going to say, hey, and if you go to the Farming Without the Bank podcast, you're going to hear me say today that, hey, why are you borrowing money to pay your premium? You should not be using borrowed money to pay premium. In the world of real estate, they're saying, hey, why don't you go get a HELOC and then you use that HELOC money to pay premium? What in God's creation? It's called infinite banking, becoming your own banker. Becoming your own banker, not inviting the bank into your life for a rate of return. That is not infinite banking. Why would you go deeper into debt with the bank to pay a premium? That blows my mind. And I know people are using those strategies, and it is not a strategy for me because I am too conservative. I am not playing the game. We have to remember that Nelson got caught with his pants down in the 80s and he had too much money borrowed, but he got himself out of it. And this is how he got himself out of it. We seem to be forgetting that. We're like, oh, we'll just go use our HELOC. It's dead money. It is dead money. It is 100% dead money. But I'm not going to go borrow from the bank to put money into a premium. No. Nope, because now I have to pay the bank back. And guess who I'm in bed with again? The bank. So if you are looking for a practitioner that is going to be able to help you, or you're looking for an agent that's going to be able to help you, think about what you're doing when you're working with somebody that is local or does not understand infinite banking. This is not to bring me more clients. That is not, I am booked out 3 months. You're going to have to wait. I appreciate it if you want me to help you, and I am happy to do that. Absolutely thrilled to do that. But if you are impatient and saying, I'm not going to wait 3 months because I want to go to my local, cousin Susie that's selling life insurance, you can do that. But cousin Susie is not going to understand all the ins and outs of it. We are here to serve you after the fact. We are here to help you with the policy, to help you with the concept, to understand where to start, how to use it, what to use it on, all the good things. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and it was super interesting how he was talking about what really sets you apart from somebody else. And we want the expert. We're not going to go, and you hear this a lot, you're not going to go to the general practitioner doctor when you need heart surgery, right? Even though your family member might be that doctor, is that who you want to have doing heart surgery on you? Or do you want the heart surgeon to do heart surgery? And in this world, there are very few people that will say, and it has happened, very few agents that will say, you know what, I don't know what Mary Jo's doing. You should probably go work with her. Yeah, I'm some crazy lady off the internet. I have this podcast. You don't know who I am from Adam. But here I am. I'm not in jail. We are just honest people over here trying to help people. So make sure that when you take those steps, when you're watching all these videos online, when you're on socials and you're seeing this and you're deep diving into this, if you see something that you question, is this right or is this wrong? Or how do you feel about that, Mary Jo? Because y'all know I have an opinion on just about everything. And so email me, let me know. I'm happy to share what would be right or what would be wrong. And it is interesting how many people will say, oh, you know what? I saw this person say this and you say that's not right. It's not right. And here is why. And I'm happy to explain why. Or I'm happy to explain why it is right and why that might be a really good strategy. This is not about going back to the bank. This is not about selling life insurance for a commission. This is about making sure that you guys have liquidity and access to your money. The policy is structured correctly with a good company. I don't even really like to talk about this stuff, but it's so frustrating when I see people do it the other way because they just don't want to wait 3 months for a meeting, or they don't want to set up an appointment because they think, oh, she's going to try to sell me something. And then at the end of the day, we've lost money and we're fixing something that is now broken and having to decide what we want to do with it. It just doesn't have to happen that way. So if I can help, I'm happy to help. But you as a consumer do need to do some due diligence and figure out who's the best person for you, and does that person understand infinite banking if that is what you want to do. All right. Let me know if there's anything I can help with, Mary Jo at withoutthebank.com, or go to withoutthebank.com and grab your Life Without the Bank book, grab Nelson's book, and then I'm happy to visit with you, happy to help where I can. You have a fantastic rest of your day.